Trisha Paytays was on the H3 podcast, and it was an amazing train wreck. What up, DEANOMANIACs? My name is Dan Frampton. I'm a talented artist. Over here we got Munchie, the straight-edge Nutcracker. He's a genius influencer, and together we are the last real band. We're the Dean Project, and I just have to talk about this episode of the H3 podcast. Now, normally I wouldn't do a full episode of Reviewber of the H3 podcast because normally nothing much happens. Even though I'm one of those guys that watches it all the way to the end, nothing much really happens, but this time something happened. It was filled with moments. This was a roller coaster ride of moments. There was highs, there was lows, there was ups and downs, there was laughs, there was cries, there was everything in between, there was everything. This thing had moments. Yeah, they jumped right into the gender issue that Trisha had a couple weeks ago on the internet. They jumped right in, and then Ethan was like, I know that you have that video monetized, and Trisha was like, no, I don't have that video monetized, and Ethan made her pull up the analytics. She didn't even have the app on her phone. He made her download the app, and then she downloaded the app, and then she pulled up her analytics, and guess what? Yes, she was monetized. That there was a moment. Yeah, that was a moment. Yeah, he saw the numbers. It was like $8,000 in revenue or something like that. Yeah, that was a moment for sure. And listening to her talk about Jewish people is a hoot. And she claimed that Ethan's the worst. Said that Hila should leave him, she's too pretty. Ethan is the worst. Ethan, you're the worst, you should get out of here. But secretly, you know, it was revealed, not secretly, Trisha quite admittedly said that Ethan was a perfect 10. In her books, Ethan was a perfect 10. Yeah, she'd pursue him if Hila left. Yes, she would pursue him if Hila left. I think it's all a meme now. And then they had a mukbang, but it was ruined by Light Ranch dressing bought by Ian, the salaried employee. He really fucked up with that one. And then Ethan tried to get Trisha Paytays to explain why she hated straight men so much, and it got pretty deep. He started asking questions about her relationships with men in her past, and that made Trisha cry. That made Trisha cry tears of joy. Now she loves Ethan. It went up, I hate you, you're the worst. I can't believe that you exist. You can't say that stuff about women. You can't say that stuff about gender. But now, Jewish people, I love them all, she says. And I guess now she loves Ethan. She said it was like therapy. This thing was a wild ride. You should go out of your way to watch it. As off the wall as this episode was, it was actually quite humanizing and actually quite revealing. It was everything that YouTube should be. It was everything that YouTube can be. It was amazing. It was a great conversation. They kind of didn't understand each other, but they were able to have a good time laughing. They ate a lot of pizza. It was a really good time to watch. I really enjoyed it. Trisha, I'm really glad that you went on the podcast. That was amazing. Ethan, great job sticking to your POV and heightening your jokes, almost like a professional comedian. It was awesome. But Hila was the star. She was the absolute star of this episode. She was more vocal. She was impassioned. She had a little bit of bass in her voice. She had a strong POV. It was amazing stuff to watch. I loved it. It's a good time. Easily the best episode of this podcast that I've ever seen. It was gripping and emotional, truly captivating. These are my final thoughts. My final thoughts. My final thoughts. My final thoughts about this podcast are that I watched it in one whole sitting. Normally I save the H3 podcast at like 2 or 3 different sittings because it's very long and not much really happens, so I don't watch the whole thing in one sitting, but I eventually watch the whole dang thing. But this time I watched it all. I watched it all in one sitting, folks. It was truly captivating. It was a really good thing. It was entertaining. It was everything I like about YouTube. It was funny and it was emotional. These are my final thoughts. My final thoughts. My final thoughts. My final thoughts. Yeah. Okay, I gotta give this thing a number from 1 to 10. This is Tuber Reviewber. You know how it goes. I gotta review this thing, and I was torn because I was jumping out of my seat, folks, when I was watching this podcast. I was having a great time. It was a fantastic time in the Frampton household when that H3 podcast was on my television screen. So I don't know how to react to this. I have to give it not 1, but 2 perfect 10s. Well, I hope you enjoyed that load of horseshit that I call content. Remember, you can go to thedeanproject.bandcamp.com for all sorts of digital downloads, physical vinyl, t-shirts, and a song about Colt Cabana, who inspired the whole internet. If you enjoyed this video, just remember, I'm a YouTube channel. I got some more videos in the back, and you can go watch them if you want to. As always, I've been Dan Frampton. This has been Munchie the Nutcracker. We've been the Dean Project. This show has been stupid for a reason. Thank you for watching. You're the best. I like you a whole lot. I hope you have a great day. I know you're gonna have an even better day now that you know that the Dean Project is in your life. Have a great, wonderful, amazing day from your feet to your knees to your eyes to your ears and everything in between.
And join the Patreon!